right, all right. I'm going to bring the music down a little bit. That's a little loud, don't you think? For those who are watching live, for those who are watching afterwards, it's back time for the High Five. The High Five is where we talk about how the top 5 topics that we may just some sports, some business, maybe just some general laughter. But we only do it because we bring the best stars in payments, the best stars in payment professionals, the most amazing people up on the screen. On the right-hand side of your screen, living the cowboy life down in Tampa Bay, Florida. And the Mr. Brian Linky. Brian, how are you, sir? Let me turn this music down even a little more
Nate,
as we get started.
I'm rebranding myself.
Brian Linky, the cowboy. Look at that, Danny Schard. And he's sitting off his lanai and beautiful.
I'm a cowboy.
Look at that. He is ready. And Brian, we'll let you tell that story in a second of why you are a cowboy and why you are. Thank you for the few people. We got a few people jumping in. I think appreciate that are paying attention to YouTube links. We had a little technical difficulty with YouTube just shutting us off the first time we clicked in, so we figured that out. On the center of your screen, back for the High Five. We're going to be doing this every week on Fridays at noon, as close to noon as today. It was 12:12. I apologize. We're figuring these things out. Mr. Danny Schard. Danny, where's your cowboy outfit? I didn't know I was supposed to bring my cowboy outfit. You have one. I don't even own one.
Okay, Nick, you're not a cowboy, I am.
I can tell you that is not what cowboys wear. I know that.
What are you talking about?
Experiences, in my life that cowboys don't do this. But Brian pulls it off really well. I gotta say. I mean, the hat, the shirt, he's got a whole vibe going here on a Friday, and I appreciate it.
Brian has like the tropical Florida, ultimate Florida tie. I'm standing on tile. I'm going to go jump in the pool picture behind him. And then that straw hat, Brian, I'm just loving it. I think that needs to become.
It's not straw, Nate. It's a thing.
Okay.
It's a real hat.
All right. My fault. Not a straw. Not straw. All right. Here we go. We're going to set this up. Brian Linky. We always talk about 5 topics on the High Five, and we start usually with some sports. And our first 2 topics are sports. We're going to get it going on this to going. But Brian Linky, you're going to start us out. Who's going to win the college football playoffs national championship Monday night in Miami, Florida, in Hard Rock Stadium between the Miami Hurricanes and the ever-growing, powerful Hoosiers of Indiana University? Brian Linky, who's going to win?
Say it loud.
Could be the easiest question anybody's ever asked me. The Indiana Hoosiers, and it's not going to even be close.
So, not going to be close. So you're saying, I think last I looked, I haven't looked in a little bit, I believe the point spread was 8.5. I think last I looked. Is that about right? Somewhere in there.
8.5 as of today.
Yeah.
It could be 80.5.
So you're not, because here's the thing. That defensive line and offensive line on Miami, they have 2 6'7" guys that are over 350 pounds on Miami's tackles. They are beasts. No one has ever seen a line that size. That's not going to slow down IU a little bit.
More than like 10 or 12 points. Okay, I'm telling you right now, we're looking at like 42-17.
All right, I like that. As my son being a freshman down at IU, he's all hopeful that's what it's going to look like. Danny Schard, will Mendoza throw more incompletions or more touchdowns in the national championship game, since he's been throwing more touchdowns than incompletions, not interceptions, incompletions in the playoffs so far?
Let me tell you something about that guy. He throws dimes. I mean, he doesn't miss. I don't remember the last time we've seen somebody like this. Maybe Andrew Luck. But he's special for sure. But Brian and I got to watch. Unfortunately, we got to see Miami play in person at the Florida State University at Doak Campbell Stadium, and they weren't all that impressive. But we could see these 6'7" guys from the stands. And we were kind of up in the back of the end zone, and we're like, look how huge those guys are. They were massive. Florida State almost came back and beat them. Miami should not be there. Notre Dame should be there. This should be an Indiana battle for the national championship. I can't tell you how much I've talked about how rigged this whole thing is. But that's where we're at. I can't talk to Brian Linky about it being rigged because it goes into a really, really dark dark tunnel.
Well, believe me, we're going to be on here for longer than 12:30. I can tell you that.
Yeah. All right. So,
but I gotta say, the Hoosiers are going to win by 1 million.
Well, plus, let me tell you something. The university down in Bloomington, okay, you know how much money they have of mine? Okay, both of my boys, they both graduated from IU. And let me tell you something. They owe me the national championship, okay, because I ain't getting my money back.
I think your boys are going to pay you back here. If you can live long enough, you will get a few dollars back from your boys. But IU, my son being a freshman down there, that place is about ready to explode. It's ready to just celebrate their first national championship. My prediction, I think it'll be 38-10. That's my prediction. Danny, we got 42-17.
That's close to what I said.
38-10. I think their running game's going to be slowed down a little bit because I think Miami's line's a little better than any line they've seen. But Mendoza's still going to throw dimes. He's going to find Schard. He's going to find all his wide receivers and that his roommate that I lost his name right now, the tight end. Doesn't matter. But they're going to do it well. I think they're going to be slowed down, but I think their defense. I think Beck is going to look confused, and that 7 point, it's going to be 38-3 going into the last 2 minutes, and they're going to get a junk touchdown. That's my prediction. Danny Schard, you got a final prediction here for us before we move on?
He always looks confused. I mean, he looks like his eyes are going both ways. I don't even know how he's started.
He's in his
Georgia.
9th year,
and right. He's 29 years old. For Christ's sake, I'm going 44-21.
Ooh, 3 touchdowns by Miami. Wow.
Yeah, I think they're gonna let him in.
They can't score that many points, Dan.
I think they're gonna score a final touchdown with about 3 minutes to go. Once Indiana has all their starters off and they're already celebrating, they may have already done the Gatorade bath at that point. Who knows? But it's gonna be lopsided. And I got to tell you this, It's awesome to see that Indiana's in this position to take it all the way. Although I think everybody listening can admit that these playoffs have been kind of boring. These games have been lopsided for the most part.
Every game that Ole Miss has played in has been fun.
Right? Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that says anything about good football, but the games have been fun.
That's right. But I mean, just blowout after blowout, and I think we're going to see another one again. I mean, Indiana is just in a class all by themselves.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, moving on to number 2 of the high five, Danny Schard. This is for you. It's not just college football playoffs; it's NFL playoffs this weekend. And what are we going to learn? And let's close up on Danny. How scared are you of Josh Allen as the Buffalo Bills come to your home and visit the number 1 seed AFC Denver Broncos?
I'm not scared of Josh Allen.
Not his ghosts.
I'm petrified. No,
I like
listen,
that.
I mean, the thing is, everybody's talking about the worst number 1 seed, Denver Broncos, and we've had a week off, and I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Josh Allen with his back against the ropes and Josh Allen on the road, it's dangerous, right? I mean, that guy is just a gamer. He pulls plays out of everywhere. But our defense is unbelievable, and I'm excited to watch this game. I'm hoping it's a close game and that we win out in the end and just break his heart like Patrick Mahomes has done for the last 5 years. He's never been able to make it past Patrick Mahomes, so I want to see that happen again, and how great Josh Allen is. Arguably, MVP again this year? Maybe.
Certainly, maybe. I mean, I think Drake May will probably get it over him, or Stafford, but he was in the conversation again. And what he did last week just makes you like he carries at any moment, Josh Allen can
Correct.
carry the whole team on his back. Now, Superman eventually loses his cape, or a little kryptonite comes in, and will the defense of Denver be the kryptonite? And yes, I would say, is Denver the most powerful number one AFC? But the whole league has incredible equity this year. And the Seahawks, I would rank Seahawks, I mean, is a little less of a number one seed than I would the Broncos, because I don't know. We'll see. I mean, no one's proven in this thing. Who's shown themselves to be the best of anything? I mean, maybe the Bears, that they can, 7 games they've been down in the last 5 minutes, but that's got to end at some point. Who knows?
Bears are showing out. Eagles were trash in the middle of the season this year. I can't believe they're there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting weekend for sure. We're all nervous. We're going down really early tomorrow morning to tailgate. We'll be there the whole time.
It's what, a 2:30 start your time? 2:15?
2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We're doing a VIP tailgate thing too. So the playoffs are always fun in Denver. If you ever get a chance, come experience it. I'd love to meet up with you. But it's a whole different deal come playoff time whenever you're with the Denver Broncos.
All right. So, Brian Linky, if a gun was to your head and you knew that your life depended on choosing who the Super Bowl champion is when we don't know, what team do you think has the best odds opportunity to be the Super Bowl champion going into this divisional round, trying to get to the championships games this weekend?
The thing is, I think the one team that no one's talking about, and if they weren't playing New England, I would say Houston, because I'm not sure if anybody could score on them, but if I had to pick one team, I think I would pick New England.
Wow, New England! Yikes! But so many people are making the Texans as a
wow.
As the what year was the Ravens the first Brian Billick Ravens championship, where they basically Trent Dilfer was the quarterback, and he could throw like 7 times in a game and they'd win the game because
their
that
defense
defense
was so good. Their defense was ridiculous, and I think that's kind of the thing with Houston, is that their defense, like nobody can score. Yep.
Well, but I look at it as who scored on them in the last week of the season when they needed to clinch the Indianapolis Colts with their freshman Riley Leonard, rookie quarterback coming from Notre Dame to start a game. He put, I forget the number of yards. I think it was 3 touchdowns and up on them. I think they're scoreable on. We'll see what they do and I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh doesn't really have an offense. I mean, literally, I think Aaron Rodgers was out there in a wheelchair. So, I mean, that wasn't going to go well for them. So we'll see. I can't wait. Looking forward to football, looking forward to the opportunities. Danny Schard, other than the Denver Broncos, which we'll be cheering for you for the Denver Broncos, is there one other team that you're scared of the most?
I mean, Brian said it well. I mean, the Texans, they're number one defense in the league. We beat them already this year. But, I'm not even looking at other teams. I'm going to take a bite out of the Bill Belichick book, and we're focused on Buffalo right now.
On to Buffalo, baby. On to Buffalo. All right. Next question. This is on to the business world. What do you do right now? How do you start your mornings in a way? And I'll put it this way. When you're at your best, how do you start your mornings to give you the best, most successful, efficient day? What do you do first thing in the morning to make you get the best day? Brian Linky?
The first thing that I do is I go to the gym. First thing, roll out of bed. I have all my stuff ready to go every single day, and I get down to the gym and I get a good workout in, and just put myself in a routine every single day. I think that's an important thing for anybody, but especially if you're in sales, you've got to get yourself into a routine every single day to make yourself, just to get mentally ready. And I just like, I've got an amazing, they have an amazing gym here. It's almost, it's like Gold's Gym, and, it's, I don't know, like 50 yards from my house. So, to not do that every day, you'd be silly. So that's what I do.
All right. Danny Schard, how about you?
I like to kind of putter around in the mornings, and that kind of is my way of kind of setting the tone for the day. So I get up, either I'll walk the dogs, or if it's too cold out, I'll just start to do some emails and watch Sports Center. I get up early, usually between 5:30 and 6 every morning. Then my kids come out, and so that's my quiet time. That's my kind of time to start my day and start to feel like a normal human being before the chaos begins. And then my 5 and 8-year-old come out, and it's game on. So if I can start my morning with a little bit of quiet and a little bit of dad time, it actually goes a long way.
And I'm with you on that, Danny. My days right now, and it's about to change because I take my sophomore daughter to school every morning, and so I try to get up an hour before I take her to school, and I don't say putter, but I do a little bit of journaling. Right now I drink a quart of electrolytes, wait 30 minutes, drink my first coffee, and then take her to school. And I've really enjoyed that. And then I do an exercise when I get back from picking her or taking her to school, because I drop her off at 7 a.m. and then I can work out from like 7:15 to 7:45 or so, and do that. But the other thing is, you've got to, every stage of life, you've got to find something that works for you, and it's not going to always work. Brian Linky, you now live 50 yards from Gold's Gym. But before you had to walk to your basement when you were living in Warsaw. Now you're in Florida. Danny, you've got a 5 and 8-year-old. I've got a 16-year-old. It changes as your life changes.
Absolutely. Well, the reason that I did that was because I knew that if I didn't have a thing in my basement where I could go every single day, walk down the stairs and do it, then I wouldn't do it. If I had to get into my car and drive to the Y or wherever, I would, yeah, sure, I would do it 2-3 days a week, but I certainly wouldn't do it every single day. So that's why I did that there. Here, I don't have to do it so much. The other thing is that I don't have, that you guys are talking about, is, my days of waking up with kids all over the house and chaos. Okay, I did my time. I've moved on. I was there, though.
But you got the grandkids now, and so
I was there. Trust me.
And 10 days a year, you have grandkids. Now the nice thing is they don't stick around for weeks on end. They just.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest thing ever. They come. They miss the house. Okay, and
send them away.
See ya.
But Brian, you are the king of routine.
Yes.
you've consistency, and I actually talked to my nephew about this recently, who's 22 and trying to find his way. And consistency and having a routine and having something set is important. And then just rinse and repeat every day, right? And then before you know it, 20 years has gone by, and you realize you've accomplished quite a bit in that time. But
Dan, I appreciate you saying that, and yeah, you're right. And the thing is, with me, I know nothing other than sales. Nothing, right? I've never done one thing in my life. January 2nd, 1986, New York City, first day. I've never had another job. I've never been inside until I started at myPayProTec and moved into as a recruiter. But even before that, the 7-8 years, I was outside the whole time, and I've never worked in an office. I've never, everyone laughs at me about the computer and the technology. There's a reason for it. Okay, I've never had to do it, right? And I've never had to do it. So if you're gonna do and go out and cold call, or again, I'm showing my age because I know things have changed and but I only know one way, and that's to get in front of people and to talk to people. Well, if you're going to do that every single day, you better have some type of routine, or else you're just going to be chasing your tail all day long. Just doing this all day long. So if you don't have some type of routine and I'm going to do this and this and this, because what happens is, as everybody knows, and it's not just me, but your day, okay, it's never going to be the same. That's the to me, that's the exciting thing about sales is your days, to come into an office, sit down at a desk, look at a computer all day, and boom, 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 5 o'clock, and then you leave. I mean, okay, I could never do it, right? Because every single day is different, and in order to have some type of structure, you've got to have some type of routine.
Well, and Nate, you know this. Brian will have to tell us specifics, but Brian, how many years did you get your haircut every Friday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning? Which I never even knew barbers were bartenders too.
I'd like to see the bartender and the barber at 6 a.m. in the same location.
He was probably going to both.
I'm gonna say
6 a.m. Friday morning haircut every Friday.
I'm gonna say 20 plus years. And that guy, okay, and I paid him every single time. And now, I found the bulldog thing. Okay, so let me tell you this. Okay, the dude owes me like $1 million.
Who cut your hair now?
Because had I known about the bulldog thing, although let me tell you and if he's watching, John Connolly at Connolly's Barbershop, he and I became really good friends, and we look forward to that 20 minutes of conversation every single Friday, and we talked about everything under the sun, and that was a good time in my life. I enjoyed it.
All right, and I do think. What do you think, Brian and Danny? Maybe some future High Five episode, the Bulldog shows up live, and we see a fresh cut right on Brian Linky as he does it. And the thousands of dollars he would have saved, but he would learn so much less. John, the Conleys have taken care of you for a lifetime.
So. No. Believe me, I'll never forget my time sitting in that barber chair talking to John Connolly ever. I mean, it was, and because he would just, barbers listen, right? That's the best thing about a barber. You can go in there and they're just listening, just shaking their head, okay, and you get up, and he kept raising his prices, and I kept paying it.
There you go.
That's some good advice for those listening, right? Is the routine and all that, but the importance of a good relationship with your barber or hairdresser, I think goes a long way, because a lot of us can't afford therapy, and there is your therapy right there.
Absolutely, I agree.
Brian Linky's picture is on the wall in the barbershop.
It is,
and they developed such a good friendship. The guy cried when Brian left. Brian cried. It was a whole thing.
We did.
And that is something that I think is really important, and all of us need those types of relationships. And they can all help us in our professional life as well. So
I love it. All right, I'm going to group the last two questions in today's High Five together. Number one, why do most sales professionals fail at selling? And we see this, and we see we have most of our partners that we bring in, they get all excited. They may even get activate, meaning they set up a few merchants, but then they fail and they don't succeed. And two, grouping that back to go, well, how do we start our day? What things should sales professionals do every day to make themselves successful? We don't all have to look alike. We don't all have to do the exact same thing, but there are some things that are essentials. So why do sales professionals often fail? And what can payment professionals specifically do every day to make themselves successful? Brian Linky, you want to start us out?
Well, let me just start by saying, this is hard. Selling is hard. Okay, nobody ever. This is not an easy job. This is, again, not coming in 9 to 5, sitting down at a desk, being on the computer, and selling is hard. And you're talking to a guy who's been doing it for a long, long time. I only really know one way, but I can just tell you, if you're not getting out and getting in front of people every single day. And I know there are other ways in today's day. Again, you're talking to a guy who didn't grow up with the internet, didn't grow up with a cell phone, didn't grow up with all this stuff. So I had no other choice but to go out every single day and do it. And I know there are other things you can do today to make yourself successful. The only problem is I don't know what they are. Okay, I mean, I'm. Email campaigns and this and that, the other thing. I only know one way, and that is to get out and get in front of people. The problem is, can you do it consistently? can you do it every single day? And the answer to that is most people can't. And that's why they fail.
Yeah. Okay. Can't get much more power from that. Not doing consistency, not doing it every day. Danny, what would you add? What are some of those things that you see? You have it's not only what you've learned yourself, but from the thousands of sales professionals that you've seen that have succeeded and not succeeded. Are there any things that people do in their days that are absolutely essential to make them successful?
I mean, this is such a good topic. I mean, and Brian said a lot of really powerful stuff there without realizing he said it, I think, because, I mean, it's so true. Sales is hard. Right. And if it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. That's the thing, is that as salespeople, we get the benefit of when we sell, when we're selling, life is great. Right. When we're not, it's not. And it's the exact opposite. We don't have the consistency that some of those have that, Brian talked about the 9 to 5 and things like that. That's consistent, that's comfortable. And, salespeople just aren't comfortable. Salespeople can't get comfortable, right? But he makes a really good point there when he says, that if you can't fail and keep getting back on the horse, which we're going to talk about a horse in a second. I just want to make sure we preface that. That if you can't get back on, that's why you're going to fail, right? And something people should do every day. This is surprising to say, this is my 23rd year in the business. I definitely haven't seen it all, but I've seen a lot, and enough to be able to kind of take in some some stuff from it. And I really, the most successful people that I've been able to be around in this business are always educating themselves on this business, right? They're always doing something, one thing a day, 2 things a day, whatever it is. It's part of their routine to learn something new or to, read an article, something about the business, right? It keeps them sharp. It keeps them up to date, on things like that. But if you're not staying engaged with today's news and payments, quickly, it passes you. And before you know it, everything you thought you knew is no longer even in play anymore. So it sounds like a little thing, but that is actually something really powerful that I think everybody should do. Your engagement with today's updates and today's news, whether it's through digital transactions. I don't even know if the green sheet's around anymore. I used to get them.
Nope, absolutely, it's still there.
I get them. Get them.
Green sheet.
It's not
There's obviously a lot of great forums on social media. Follow us and watch a lot of our stuff, right? We're silly, we're goofy, but usually we have some great content on some on up-to-date news as well. So got to do something like that. Stay engaged and know that sales is hard, but you got to be used to that rejection. You got to get back on that horse. And if anybody's gotten back on a horse, it's the man with the cowboy hat.
Well, let me tell you, and I know Nate's going to laugh here at me in a second, but the thing about this industry, and I just got off the phone with this lady because she was complaining, she can't do this and that and the other thing. And I just told her, I said, listen, I'm not saying it's for everybody, but, cash discounting has changed the game for all of us, right? I mean, ask yourself, would you still be doing this job without it? And it's hard to even think that. But when I got into the business, when Dan got into the business, and I even think when Nate got into the business, okay, that didn't exist. So to make a living doing this job back then was the race to the bottom, Dan, right? I mean, it was almost ridiculously crazy how hard it was to make money doing this. And now, okay, yeah, you know what? It's a little watered down, okay, which makes it a little bit harder, but it's still there for you, okay? And it doesn't take, hundreds and hundreds of deals for you to make a lot of money in this business anymore. So get out there, get in front of some people, and start closing some deals.
I love that.
I love that. All right, and then Brian Linky, you're dressed like a cowboy. You told us as we got on here today, you just booked a trip out west. tell me about how you're going to learn to ride a horse over the next couple months so that we can
Now,
get video of this.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, okay. Now the question is, have I been on a horse? The answer to that question is yes. I've been on a horse and carriage in Central Park. Does that count?
No.
No. Have you ridden a horse on a saddle where your butt was on top of the horse?
Yeah. Okay. I've been on the merry-go-round. Does that count?
No.
So if those two don't count, then no, I've never been on a horse.
Oh, we need video evidence of a little wrangling going on with Brian Linky this coming.
I just want to lasso something. I don't care what it is. I just want to lasso something.
Yeah.
No, my wife, we booked a trip. We booked a trip. She heard from these people this trip out to Montana and at Yellowstone, and we've got all these excursions. And believe me, I got a cowboy hat. I got boots coming soon. I got the whole thing. And the only thing I'm missing is my lasso, but I'll get one.
Before we went live, Brian was talking about this, and for those of you who have ever seen the movie City Slickers, this is Billy Crystal right here, and
that's City Slickers 2, I believe, is the City Slickers 2 is the one
exactly
thing.
Right.
Jack Palance with the one-handed push-up when he won the Oscar for it.
Yeah,
right.
All curly.
Yep.
But Billy Crystal and I hope Brian Linky comes back with a pet cow, or something like that, because that would just be epic. I could totally see Brian doing that there in Valencia Lakes.
We're looking forward to it. It's a trip that I know I've never taken anything like it, right? And so yeah, it's a new adventure for us, and we're excited.
Brian, I live over here in these mountains. I mean, you literally could have came over. I'd have taken you horseback riding. I'd have made you chop some wood.
Okay, Dan, I'm not sure the trip we're taking is exactly that, but okay, I hear you, and I appreciate it, Dan.
There we go.
You will.
All right, as we close off today, as we'll be back every week for the High Five, doing this at noon on Fridays, but I leave you with a little words of our friend, often viewer and supporter, Matthew McConaughey. In his 2014 Oscar acceptance, he said this: "There are three things I need to each day. One thing, I need something to look up to, something that you respect, a power that being God, gratitude. I need another to look forward to. I need something that I'm looking forward to, a Yellowstone trip, something that I'm going to, and another is something to chase. I need a goal. I need something to go after. I need something to look up to, something to look forward to, something to go after. That's going to make our days a lot more effective. I think about that. I was almost broke onto my all right. I tried to do my McConaughey, but no one thinks it's good, so I didn't give it. But I do think when we build our days every day, if we wake up every morning looking something that we have something to look up to, something to look forward to, and something to chase, and we fully go after all of that, we're going to have some really great days. We're going to talk about more and more of that is coming. Danny Schard, we're going to be in Boston, Massachusetts in 3 weeks, 2 weeks from next Wednesday. We'll be in Boston, Massachusetts. Why should someone come out and hang with us? Look for the email coming out Monday or Tuesday this next week about a dinner we're hosting when we're there. But why should someone come hang out with us in Boston, Massachusetts at NEAA at the beautiful Encore Casino right there in the Boston Harbor?
Yeah, come join us if you've ever hung out with us or been a part of a PPT event or dinner or anything like that. We like to have a good time, and anytime we get FaceTime with our partners is great. So come to Boston in a few weeks and come see us. And I'm so excited to be back on the High Five. It's been, what has it been, Nate? 3 years?
14 months since the last High Five, which was intermittent, and it's really been 3 years. It's been 2023. So
we did it consistently.
Yep.
So something that many of you might notice, Brian is going to be wearing a different costume to represent the trip he's going on next, right? Because Brian and Brenda Linky, they're travelers, right? And they're at that point in their life, and what you're going to see from me is I'm wearing the 20 years of Empowering Partners shirt that I believe Nate designed.
I came up with the idea, fully credit. I actually don't remember whether Josh or David designed it, but I did not design it. I came up with the idea. So
designed by PPT's own team. But something that many of you will see is one of the things that I like to do is I like to celebrate our partners. All of your brands out there mean something, right? Where you are locally, they mean something to us. And we love powering them and helping you guys build those brands even more. So you're going to see me wearing different brands every single week. So make sure you tune in because you'll probably see your brand at some point. Next week, I got a really cool one for everybody. So, and most of you are going to know who it is. So.
All right. And I'm going to be doing the same thing today. I was going to wear my PPT, but then I realized all three of my T-shirts were all in the dirty clothes. And that was my fault for not doing laundry in the last 10 days, but I'll work on that. So I decided to wear something clean today. But the other thing is I'm standing in my new office here that has blank walls. And the wall that to my left is going to be the dream board for PayProTec. I just ordered a half corkboard, half dry erase board where I can put the dreams and goals of our PayProTec partners over there. So hopefully soon, I'm going to be able to, this little desk that I'm on is on casters, and I'm just going to turn it that way so we can be my backdrop sometimes on these high fives as we do that. So Brian Linky, give us close. Yes.
You need a basketball.
I do not have a basketball up here yet, so I will work on that. I actually, you know what? I do have one about 20 feet from me, so I will make sure it's at my hands to do that. All right, Brian Linky, give us closing words for our first high five of 2026. How do you challenge our partners to live their best life here in the greater PayProTec world?
I was actually thinking about this, and one of our partners, Carlos Chubak, told me something at one of the events, and I'm going to share it with you. He said, he looked at me, he goes, Brian, he goes, you have a happy face, which I know tells me that you have a happy life. And so if I can pass anything along, happy face, happy life. See you guys next week.
Love it. On behalf of Danny Schard, Brian Linky, I'm Nate Manahan, and we say high five, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
High five, part two.
Part two.
See ya.